this is a crucial thing happening right now in India also, especially in celebrities' life and all that. It's happening very normally. Main problem is the communication pattern. So the communication pattern is like egoistic.
I was about to go to that only, the male ego and the
female ego, and now we have got lots of terms like alpha male, so many stuffs. There are two other financial reasons. One is like they are financially stable, other is like they are financially having a crisis, so I want to move from this relationship. The parents need to give the space where the child feels very comfortable enough and with lots of freedom also. The husband didn't even attend the thing. And she used to shout like, I want my husband, and beat the baby.
What does this grey divorce mean?
People after 40 or 50, they apply for divorce.
So, what do you think is the reason for divorce these days? And what are people supposed to do about it?
So if you ask me for the reasons, the first reason is over expectations.
Hey all, welcome to Lifedemy's Lifetalk. I'm Sneha and today we have Sujithra ma'am, who is a certified psychotherapist and counselling psychologist from Lifedemy. Hello ma'am, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
Great.
So today we'll be talking a lot about mental health, and I think we have the right person with us because ma'am has 7 years of experience and she has helped more than 5,000 clients, and I'm really looking forward to gain a lot of knowledge from you, and so are the viewers, I guess. So generally, we've heard about mental health on a wider basis. Like every day we hear about mental health is this, mental health is that. And generally when we ask people what mental health is, they don't define what mental health is, but rather they go on to tell what mental health problems are.
Exactly.
Like depression, stress,
Yes.
anxiety.
Yes.
But they don't know what actually mental health is in the first place. So for me personally, apart from starting to address even mental health, I feel like people don't give much emphasis to it. Because once we are physically ill, for example, we have a fever or a cold or a cough, we get it treated immediately. We have this overall checkup once in 6 months, but we don't give the same emphasis to mental health. We neglect it. Even when, teenagers or, people in their early adulthood, when they say they are facing depression or stress or anxiety, elders tend to neglect it, stating that it's just, you're just growing up. It's just the growing phase. And when elders face that, they feel, they have like a stigma around them that they're not supposed to get consulted professionally. What will people think? They might think that we are mentally challenged. Exactly. So the stigma is around. So I personally think I am someone who gives a lot of emphasis to mental health, who always, tends to keep my mental equilibrium and stability and stuff. So before even dwelling into what mental health and because that's what you are here for to talk about today, but before dwelling into what mental health is, I'm very curious to know the difference between psychotherapist and psychologist. Because when they introduced ma'am to me, they told that she was a psychotherapist and a counseling psychologist. So I've heard about only psychiatrist and psychologist back in my school days.
Okay.
So what are the different distinctions between these three?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Sneha. So counseling psychologists are people like they give counseling to the person, and it is a very short term or like not a long term process. Okay. This can be given for minor things like relationship issues and all those things. We can give it for such minor issues. For the counseling can be given. But when it comes to psychotherapy, it is a long-term process. How we have a physiotherapy for our body, we have a psychotherapy for our mind.
Okay, this didn't strike me. Physiotherapy and psychotherapy. Got it. Okay.
And psychotherapy must be like only a trained professionals can give the psychotherapy itself. Whereas in counseling if you do some courses, some lame courses, and we can go for counseling. When it comes to counseling, even doing some mere courses can help them do the counseling and psychotherapy, counseling the person. Whereas psychotherapy is like professionally studied and professionally trained. Only then they can give the psychotherapy. And psychotherapy is for the most traumatic stuffs.
Okay.
It's for the most very
things that have more
profound,
impact.
profound one and very deep ones. Only for that psychotherapy is used.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And amidst of this, we have clinical psychologists who will assess the problem, and we have psychiatrists who are doctors who will give the medicines.
Right. Got it. Okay, now I have
So
clarity.
people think that the psychologist will give the medicine, but it is not so. It only the psychiatrist can give the medicines.
Because I think people need to be aware of what these three are itself in the first place.
Yes.
Because if they are going to have one general idea that once you go to a psychologist, they're going to give you medications and you're going to get treated like as if you are physically ill.
Yeah.
They won't even go in the first place to get to know what they're going through.
Exactly.
So to know the difference between a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and a psychotherapist is very essential, and I think I've got clarity definitely, and so have the viewers too.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, how do you define mental health in the first place?
Okay, it's actually very simple. If you have a state of well-being which is healthy, then you are having a superb mental health.
Okay.
Especially when you are able to think, act, and feel properly. Think, act, and feel properly, then your mental well-being is good. If these three is having a crash or having a problem, then you need to consult a psychiatrist or some psychologist.
Or someone.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how you define mental health. It's like a 2-mark question. How do you define mental health? And you tell all this. So, me being a teenager, I feel there's like 2 parts of mental health. It's like a personal POV. It's like a personal question also. So there are one group of teenagers who take up mental health or depression or stress or anxiety, anything for that matter. Any issue, they'll be like, I'm going through stress.
Yeah.
I have anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm facing depression. I saw one reel few days back with 3rd standard, small boy. He's studying 3rd standard. I'm feeling full of depression because there's too much of homework. They attribute that word with daily tasks that they do.
Yeah.
It's because they're not aware of what it actually means.
Yes.
So I would like to know what is the actual difference between stress, anxiety, and depression, because me being a 19-year-old, I don't think I have a clarity about it. And so are a lot of people out there, even elders for that matter. They don't know what is what, and they confuse one thing with the other, and they neglect it.
Okay.
So asking it to you is the best thing.
Yeah, definitely. So now the usage of words like depression, anxiety, stress has become very common.
True.
And they also forgot to understand that real depression is something else. Okay, real depression is something else. So if you see stress is a condition.
Okay.
Okay. Anxiety and depression is a disorder.
Okay.
So condition means you are sailing through some discomfort, but still you can sail through.
You'll be able to bear it.
You are able to bear it, and you are able to go through it. Okay. Your your social life, occupational life is not disturbed because of that. Okay. Whereas when it is a disorder, all these things are fully disrupted, fully not into process. Okay. So in defining depression, anxiety, and stress, I would say stress is a condition where they go through the utmost threshold, unbearable threshold. That is stress.
Last point.
The last point, the very last point. Okay, and if this stress is prolonged, then it will be leading to some other disorders. It could be anxiety, or it could be depression, or it could be anything else. Okay. Whereas defining depression and anxiety is, all emotions are beautiful emotions. Okay. All emotions are beautiful emotions. But if you feel any emotion extremely, then it becomes an abnormality. Okay. So if you feel fear abnormally, then that is anxiety. And if you feel sadness abnormally, then that is depression.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So all these three has to be given a attention as soon as it reaches 2 weeks.
Okay, so there's like a span of time that you have to
Yes.
figure it out. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you feel like you're depressed, you are anxious, you are stressed for more than 2 weeks, then it is time for you to visit a psychologist.
Okay.
Because more than 2 weeks, it is definitely a disorder.
Okay. Okay. So, sorry to interrupt, ma'am, but
Yeah.
now you've told that there's like actually a time span for you to figure out what you're going through. Is there any age criteria that is to be met that only these people will face, stress or anxiety or depression?
No such things.
Okay.
No such things. Any age can face the depression, mental disorder. It's like how we face developmental issues for kids. So it starts from there, right? So
Okay.
similarly, it starts from the very basic ages.
Okay, so there's no.
No age bar for this disorder to be attained.
Yeah, because that I wouldn't say that's happening even. Yeah, I would say it's even happening now.
Yeah.
There's always this thing. What have you faced so much?
Only thing is sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No.
Only thing is the way they interpret the depression is different.
Okay.
The adults interprets it's like I'm fatigued, I'm not interested in everything, I'm not able to focus, I'm getting irritated in everything and all that. And for
For
small kids, they will alienate themselves from the group.
True. Isolation.
Yes, isolation. They isolate themselves from the group and they don't feel like to connect with somebody, and they say like, I don't want to go to school, I want to be here
To explore new things.
Yeah,
to pick up
so they
activities.
become disinterested in everything. It is also a sign that they are going through a mild depression.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, we've spoken about stress, anxiety, depression, and you've given an overview now. So there will definitely be people out there who haven't faced any of this, or they tend to put themselves back into the mental equilibrium where they can balance it. I mean, I don't think there will be any person in this world who hasn't faced stress or anxiety or depression at any point of their life. There might be work stress or personal stress. That is going to be something, because we all know life isn't very easy. It's not a smooth process. So yeah, we're all going to face that. But there are people who will be able to handle it themselves. So for them, do you have any tips or points to say on how to avoid depression?
Okay. So when it comes to avoiding depression, what I would suggest is like they should have a presence of mind, that mindfulness. So whenever you drink water mindfully. You sleep mindfully. So when you do everything mindfully, there is a relax. It's a state of Zen. So when we are not doing anything not mindfully, when we are not doing anything mindfully, there comes the problem. And so the common remedies, like common things one can do is like go for a walking, drinking enough water, and then doing a meditation, yoga, and all these things will help. But the problem is if you are in the 2 weeks time.
Okay.
If you are about 2 weeks time, nothing is going to help.
It's better that you go consult.
Yeah.
Rather than just waste time.
And yes.
Do you have any personal experience of treating someone who was in very, in a very bad stage of depression or anxiety, and then helping them to bring back?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
Because you've handled more than 5,000 clients and you have an experience of 7 years. So, what would be one story that has made an impact in you?
Okay. So, there is one story. A lady she has got postpartum stress disorder.
Okay.
Postpartum, that's also a depression thing, but that comes after the delivery of a child. So
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was about to ask you that because a lot of people aren't aware about what postpartum stress disorder is.
Yes. So after the delivery of the child, they will go through a depression because of continuous sleepless nights and all that. This lady is like well-educated lady, and she is admitted. When she is admitted, she will not allow anyone to touch the baby,
Okay.
and she will keep on hitting the baby.
Oh my God.
The baby was very awesome. The baby looks very chubby and
Oh,
all
sure.
that. And she was given ECT 7 times.
What is ECT?
ECT is electroconvulsive therapy. That is a shock treatment.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and so that was given 7 times. So once 7 times of ECT is given, she can't breathe
Normal person.
she can't give mother feed to the
Okay. Breastfeed the baby.
breastfeed the baby. So the baby is without milk and all that, and she's not allowing anybody to
Touch the baby.
touch the
also.
baby also. And I used to wonder, because after every ECT they will go through a body pain. I don't know how she gets the energy to run through everywhere when someone touches her baby. She gets that energy and she is doing all that, and after 8th ECT she calmed down. And then she slowly started touching the baby and feeling the baby as her own and all that. This is one story which I will never forget, because being a woman, I was touched with while seeing the child and all that. This case is very close to me, because we all think like without medicine we can survive, without medicine we can go. She literally thought the same thing. I'm feeding the child, so I should not take medicine. So she was feeling that, and she postponed the thing. Now the situation
And it
became
got
worse.
Mm-mm.
So so it is always preventive if you take a measure little ahead, which I said like 2 weeks.
Rather than let it
Yeah.
get even more worse,
Exactly.
prevention is better than cure.
Yes, exactly. So this is one story I would always remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, one case which you would never forget was related to postpartum depression. So, postpartum depression is something which is highly neglected in our society.
Exactly.
Because the elders, especially, I'm talking about the older people. So, the elders, they have this feeling that, they've gone through pregnancy, they've given birth to 10, 15 kids and all. And we never faced something called postpartum depression. We did not have the time. We didn't go back to our mom's place to get ready. We went on ahead with our daily course. That's what they feel, the elders and all. But recently, maybe from the 2000s, we've been seeing a lot of cases of postpartum depression, and how much it has affected women and the kid also as a family. So what do you think the families are supposed to do when the mothers, the new mothers go through postpartum depression, or what kind of family support they are to be given off?
Okay. So first of all, now the whole scenario is changed. Women are also working now.
Exactly.
Okay.
True.
And women are also doing the household things. So now doing both the things and then taking care of the baby is not easy stuff. It needs lots of help from the husband's side, husband's
The family
mom,
side.
and everybody. And if you see the same example which I told, she was given, the guardian was only her mother. Okay. The husband didn't even attend the thing. And she used to shout, like, I want my husband, and beat the baby.
Okay.
Okay. And so that was very tragic, because people has to understand, like,
What the other person is going through also.
like after a childbirth, there will be a depressive mood, and
True.
and the people has to go through it, and only thing that can heal at that time is husband being present next to them.
Very true, ma'am.
Because when husband is present next to them, there is a hormone secreted called oxytocin. Okay, so that oxytocin will help them while breastfeeding. Also, oxytocin is secreted, and when husband comes near to them and give their presence to the lady, the oxytocin helps the lady be little more proactive and face the depression in a much better way. Okay, so this has to be understood by the family, and especially the house.
mothers.
So this has to be understood by the husband, for heaven's sake.
True. Because I feel, the mothers go through so much during pregnancy. There's so much changes physically, there's so much changes mentally, and it's like a complete shift of how their life has been
Yes,
for that
yes.
period of time, and then how it
Yes.
drastically changes after that point of moment, after those 9 months and during those 9 months. And I used to feel angry when they don't give that much importance, and we generally, because I feel after the advent of internet, we get to know a lot of these cases. Due to postpartum depression, mothers take their life. They can't handle it, or they vent out the anger in the kids, like you said in this case. So it is very essential that people actually, especially married couples, that they have to take care of the mother and the wife during times like this. And the parents also has to understand both sides.
Yeah,
They shouldn't
absolutely.
neglect the wife,
Wife
or
and
their,
the child.
because at the end of the day, it's their daughter who has gone through so much things. They shouldn't
Exactly.
neglect.
Yes, yes.
It can be taken care of. They should give that much emphasis.
Yes.
So moving on to relationships, ma'am, since we talked about postpartum depression, I like to get into relationships. So since we spoke about postpartum depression, ma'am, I'd like to also address the mental compatibility between married couples also. So how marital relationships should be able to face mental problems together, because I think that will also be like, a societal shift for them, to be separate individuals and then to become one entity, to take the next step forward as a family. So there's one mental shift there, and they have to address problems regarding it. And there's definitely going to be north and south problems, because men will have their set of problems, their set of mental pressures, and then women will have their set of problems and mental pressures. So have you faced couples who come in for treatments?
So yeah, there are so many cases that I'm facing these days because of marital conflicts.
Exactly.
So first of all, we all need to understand one thing, like whenever you get into a marriage, okay? So whenever you get into a marriage, you're going to go through 3 phases. So
Okay.
first phase is called as romance phase.
Okay.
So
It's the honeymoon phase.
So honeymoon phase, yeah, so-called honeymoon phase. So it will be for 3 months, where your passion, intimacy, everything will be at the peak, and you will be like, even if the cooking of the wife is worse, they will compliment it like it is the best, like you are the best chef and all that. All things will be happening, and then comes the conflict phase.
Okay.
So conflict phase is where you start to identify each and every
Flaw of the other
flaws,
person.
indifferences, and changes, all the negatives. All these things are noted down by the husband or wife in this conflict phase. And then comes the reality phase. Problem right now is, during the conflict phase itself, many people are going for divorce.
Very true.
So
they don't want to resort, they don't want to communicate.
Exactly, they don't want to communicate. And you are very right. The very reason behind most of the divorces, there is no proper communication.
Because I'm a lawyer, and that is what my family law professors and all feel about it. Because recently the rate of divorce has been drastically, it has drastically gone up.
It was 1.2%. Now it is 30%.
Yeah, I mean, India is topping the list.
Yeah,
Recently.
30%. So now the marital conflicts have been very high. Okay. So initially the conflicts were initially in the sense decades ahead, the conflict started like after 7 months or 8 months, like that. Now even the romance phase is finishing off in a very fast manner. So the conflict phase comes very fast. So how to understand and how to deal with conflict phase, that could be one of the main taboo here. So first we need to understand one thing. If you understand this, most of the problem will be fine.
Solved.
So first thing is, like, men has square mind.
Okay.
Women has circle mind.
Okay.
Okay, if you see square, it has 4 edges. If you see circle, it has no edges, no end point.
True, it keeps going.
Yeah, men are like 4 edges people. So for them, if something is done, if something is finished, it's finished. That's why if there is a fight yesterday, tomorrow morning they will be normal. So when this happens, women gets irritated. Okay, so but if you see the circle of the women, it is like it goes here, comes there, comes back, and it is like 1917. You said this. 1950, you said this.
So this is the root cause for all of that. Okay.
So women will be more of taking the
They have
emotional baggage and all that. So men won't have such emotional baggage. They will be sorting everything in a logical way.
Okay.
So this logic and this emotion always goes a clash.
True.
So
But you need
instead,
both to survive, right?
yeah, we need both to survive. So that's why I say, so if you make your emotional statement as a emotional statement as a statement language. Say for example, you said this, it hurt me this way. So your emotion is also said, I'm hurt. And logically also it is said, you did this and that I'm hurt.
That's why I'm hurt.
That's why I'm hurt. So if we process the conversation methodology, so most of the marital conflicts and all those will be resolved. I will be saying resolved. It will be resolved. Yeah.
Okay. So this is for marriages, for marital relationships. One major aspect that we see these days is general relationships that teenagers and early adults have.
Yeah.
You know, when they are in a love relationship.
Okay.
When they're not married, but they're in love.
Okay.
And we do face problems with them also when they go through a breakup or something like that. And personally, I've seen, a lot of people of a very early age, like 20, 21 and all, when they go through a breakup, they, incline to self-harm.
Yeah.
When they can't take it mentally, when they can't take the pressure here, they tend to induce pain into themselves physically so that this pain will be suppressed. So I felt very bad for them. Why would they resort to such violence, to themselves? They don't do anything to the others, but they cause something to themselves, which not treated will cost their life. So what would you say to that, ma'am?
You mean to say about the breakup stuffs?
Yeah, the breakup stuff. From a relationship, we jumped into breakup now.
Okay, so I was giving an idea for not to break up, but you are coming to a breakup. Okay, fine about it.
No, because marital relationships, I mean, okay, as a husband and wife, they might come into consultation. We are facing this, we want to actually resolve. But generally, boyfriends and girlfriends, I don't think they do it. I'm talking about elder people itself, people who are of the age of 22 to 25. And they resolve into stuff like this, physical harm or, going much into depression, putting themselves, isolating them. So what would you recommend for people like that?
So when we talk about breakup, we need to understand how painful it is. That's why the behaviors are like self-harming, suicidal ideation, death wishes and all that. Why it is so painful is, you lost someone. Say for example, there was a person who is very close to you and he passed away. Okay. It causes you a pain. Yes or no?
True.
Right. Brain secretes certain chemicals when you get to know that someone passed away. Okay. And exactly the same chemicals are produced when you go through a breakup.
Okay. Right.
That's why it is that painful. Okay. And we need to understand, if someone is dead, we go through a grieving process.
Mourning period.
Right. Similarly, when you go through a breakup, you have to go through a mourning period and grieving process. There is grief stages.
Okay.
There are grief stages, like the first stage is shock. As soon as you get to know that she's breaking up with you, you get shocked.
You can't accept, you can't process the entire
things. You're shocked.
You're just shocked.
You're shocked. Second phase is denial. It's like, I can't accept the fact that she left me.
She's not with me anymore.
Yeah. So that is done. Third thing is called bargaining. Bargaining is like, why God? Why me? This why me is very delicate.
The what if stage is
What if I have tried that?
That she wouldn't have left
me. Why me? Why God? Only to me. All these questions will be bargaining. And the fourth stage is very, very important stage. It is like anger or sadness. Anger could be on myself or on that particular girl. Sadness is like for my pathetic situation. Okay. So that's why the grieving process will go for 6 months. I would say for 6 months, if they are truly loving someone, they will grieve for 6 months at least. We should not say that, hey, it's already 6 months. Why are you grieving till now? It is painful, and it has to go for 6 months.
Actually, this has cleared a lot of things for me personally. I'm actually thinking about, okay, right, makes sense now. A lot of people, they don't even get into this, or they get too much into this.
Yeah. So last stage is accepting the reality.
Hard phase.
Problem is, even after accepting the reality, this breakup has the problem of jiggling.
Okay. And what is that?
Jiggling means you jiggle from sadness, anger to bargaining,
Okay.
and from bargaining to anger, sadness. Such a way you jiggle.
Okay. There's like a shuffle of the stages.
Shuffle, yeah. It almost takes 6 months or 7 months to sort out the things. That's why it is very hard. They were like, and one important advice that I would say someone going through breakup is, don't listen to sad songs.
I think that's like the first thing people do. Go to Arjit Singh, play all sad
sad
songs,
songs.
breakup song.
Yeah, so don't play sad songs at that time. Better hear some podcast.
That's why you're supposed to listen Lifedemy's Lifetalk. It's actually very true, ma'am, because a lot of people, either they get dwelled into this too much, or they don't even go to the phase where they're always in denial only. They won't even go to, they won't realize it. They don't want to accept what reality is. They just travel in one path of denial, which leads them into something much worse. I feel, because I've seen people, I think all of us, any person who's viewing this right now, any person in this room with us right now, would have seen someone like that. They would never accept it. They'll be in one phase of denial, and it'll lead them into something much more worse, and that will be even more bad. So it's very necessary that people actually know these kind of things, and it's only through psychologists like you that we are aware of what is this and what mental health is actually about and stuff. So, ma'am, you beautifully crafted the stages of grief for people who break up, who are in a relationship, and I think that will apply for people who go through a marital relationship breakup also, aka divorce.
Yeah.
So, we already spoke about divorce previously. Divorce is something that we see on a highly increasing rate these days. People tend to go to divorce even within months of marriage, not even years. They'll be married only for a year and then they'll file for divorce. And the reason they wait for 1 year is because you can't apply for divorce before 1 year. That's the whole point. They wait for 1 year also.
True that.
So, what do you think is the reason for divorce these days? And what are people supposed to do about it?
So, if you ask me for the reasons, the first reason is over expectations. Okay. And lots of comparisons. Okay, now social media has come, they have gone to Maldives and let's go for Mauritius and all that. So these kind of comparisons, expectations are comparisons. And other thing is like now women are also working and they are also self-independent now. So they don't feel like to do like
the
dependency on the man and all that. But what if the man is a male chauvinistic person? There is a clash.
True.
Okay. And main problem is the communication pattern, which I already said. So the communication pattern is like egoistic.
I was about to go to that only, the male ego and the female
ego. And now we have got lots of terms like alpha male, so many stuffs, and all that. And all these things are the main cause for marriage being broken these days.
So what would you say to people who come in, either who are divorced or who come in to you in a stage where they want to get divorced?
See, when it comes to the couples who come for divorce and getting an opinion before the divorce.
Have you experienced this before?
Yeah. There are so many couples who come to me and they come for opinion before the divorce, before applying divorce. So that's like, when I see all these people now, the problem is, of course, the conversation patterns of course the conversation patterns, and there is also one important thing which you must consider before getting married someone.
Oh, before getting married itself.
Yes.
Okay.
That is value and belief compatibility.
Value and
Belief compatibility. Value is I value honesty.
Okay.
Belief is I believe in Lord Shiva.
Okay.
Just an example. So if you are not having this value and belief compatibility, then I would say this case is not going to happen well.
Okay.
But if value and belief compatibility is there, only problem is with the communication, then we can work on with the 5 love languages, we can work on with the worksheets, compatibility worksheets. There are so many worksheets have.
What is it, 5 love languages?
5
that
love
got
languages.
my attention.
So 5 love languages are, it's a proposal by John Chapman.
Okay.
It's a book actually. So it says about there are 5 love languages that speaks in the intimacy partners. Not only in intimacy partners, but in general relationship. One is like word of affirmation. So you are coming here, and immediately after you come here, I say that Sneha, you look great today. Okay, it feels good, right?
It feels good, yeah.
It feels good. And so a husband and wife should have a word of affirmation. And then special gifts, sudden surprises, all these things. That is one second love languages. Third one is acts of service. Say for example, the wife is sick, the husband cooks.
Takes care of them,
pampering and acts of service. That is one thing. And then presence. Say for example, the wife is the same sick, and the husband is coming and giving a presence. He is coming early from the office.
True.
And then giving
all those small efforts to make them feel better.
Yeah. And then comes physical touch. It may not be a sexual thing. It could be holding the hands, like patting on the shoulders, or like just leaning on the shoulders. Anything. So this is the 5 love languages.
But this goes vice versa also, no ma'am.
Of course, no.
I think that is where
relationship works.
Marital relationship.
Yes.
It's not only the husband doing everything, but the wife also, reciprocating when it happens to the husband.
Yeah. I didn't say much about the wife because wife actually does a lot. Sometimes because they being emotional, they will be doing all these works, like when the husband is sick, they immediately take care and all that. Of course, there are some cases which are not so, but mostly women are tuned that way.
Yeah,
that's why my examples were related to
the men. Yeah, I totally agree, ma'am. Yeah. But generally, for a relationship to work, I think there must be inputs from both the sides.
Yes.
The husband and the wife.
Yes, definitely.
Go together.
It has to be hand in hand only.
True.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, we've spoken about relationships, divorce, and breakups and stuff like that. So when I was actually, skimming around topics to address, I came across something called as grey divorce. I did not want to dwell much into it because first thing I did not understand it, and second thing I knew you were coming in and listening it from you would give me much clarity.
Okay.
So what does this grey divorce mean?
So if you know, people after 40, after 40 or 50, they apply for divorce. So when they apply for divorce, we all get a question: what is the use? Why do they apply
after this? For what?
What is the? Why do they apply for a divorce right now? So, but this is a crucial thing happening right now in India also.
Okay.
Especially in celebrities' life and all that, it's happening very normally. So if you see the reason behind this grey divorces, there are so many things. One is empty nest. Empty nest is after your children grow and all that, they will leave the house and you will be alone. You will be alone in the house and you don't find any meaning in that.
They don't find no purpose in life.
Yeah, purpose in that. Okay. And there are 2 other financial reasons. One is like they are financially stable and they find no meaning in it. Other is like they are financially having a crisis. So I want to move from this relationship. Okay. So and other thing is like if you see Sternberg's theory of love, it is about intimacy, passion, and commitment. So this intimacy, passion will be over after some time. Okay.
Definitely.
And this commitment is the only thing that will
That
keep
will hold them
the relationship together. Now the son or daughter is left the place. So now what happens is like, I don't need to be committed with you.
True, because actually this is very true, ma'am. A lot of I feel most of the reason that people of this age they stay together is because they have kids, and kids are a commitment, and they are adolescent or early adults, and they have to get them settled. So at this time when we part ways, it will affect the children, and I don't want to do that. So probably once they are also settled, when they are completed with their commitment, they tend to actually file for divorce or move apart.
Yeah. So this is the main reason for grey divorce. And for grey divorce, what we can do is, we can, like when they come to us, we can make them find meaning out of life.
Okay. You faced people, who come in.
Basically, I haven't faced grey divorce cases,
Okay.
but I have my friends facing grey divorce cases.
Okay,
So
okay.
we make them find the meaning out of the relationship and all that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about stages, 5 stages of love, grief stages, and the grief stages actually struck me a lot because personally I feel like I've been through all this and maybe I did not get it treated and stuff. So what would you suggest, ma'am, for people like them?
So if you say all these things like love languages and love languages itself is a technique only, but what happens is like we forgot to apply all those technique in
real life.
In real life.
Exactly.
So when people approach us, we will help them understand where this application of love language should be and how it should be and where it should end.
True. Because after you said only, people tend to realize, we already know this, but we just forgot to apply it in.
Yeah. And when it comes to grief stages, people will be unaware of where they are hanging. True. Are they in the first stage? Are they in the last stage? All these things. And we have got lots of techniques to help them out to how to graduate from one stage to the other stage, and thereby they complete the acceptance level, and thereby they accept themselves as they are, and accept the past, let go of the past. Okay, that's the beautiful word that I can say. Let go of the past.
Let go of the past.
And go with the flow also.
Because with what you say, it's like, that's one of my favorite authors. And in one of his books, he would have stated, pain demands to be felt.
Okay.
So with what you say and with what he has said, that's what I feel is resonating right now. Because you need to go through. It's
not only pain, Sneha. It's like every emotion should be felt.
Like it should go through that full process for you to come out of it and then move on with life.
Yes.
So it makes sense now. I get the proper outline of it.
Yeah.
So ma'am, we've spoken a lot about relationships, divorce, and a lot related with adults. But as a teenager, I would really like to ask you about one particular topic, which is teenage depression. I feel that is something which is on the rise for the era that we are currently living in. So what do you think about teenage depression, and what is the right age for people to start, if they want to get counseling? What do you think is the right age for them to come in?
Okay. So to come for counseling, the child should be above 8 years. Okay. Below 8 years can't be treated because the problem will be the parents, not the child.
Not the child. Okay.
So above 8 years, from 8 years onwards, the child will be given counseling and all that. Everything happens. So when it comes to your question of teenagers, so 13 to 19 is the perfect teenager people. And if you see the current scenario, now there is lots of peer pressure and lots of competition. I would like to share about my personal experience. So that was my niece. She was very much pressured by the studies and all that because she's a rank holder, and she was pressured. And I asked her, listen, we are also we have also studied. Even I'm a rank holder. So I told like, I'm a rank holder. I have also studied, but I didn't pressure like how you are pressuring yourself. But may I know the reason why you're pressurized this much? She asked me. She told me. uh, she said my name and my relationship, and she said, Chiti, when you were young, how many people were potential enough to get first rank?
Exactly.
It was only you and your friend. But now, in our class, everybody is potential enough to get the first rank. Our peer pressure is so much. And our competition is also so much. Okay, so everyone wants to win in life. Everyone is passionate, and like I whenever I go for career counseling, I see lots of students coming up with lots of ideas, lots of like neat J triple E and all that. They want to try out everything and they want to see the best for them.
True.
So far everyone wants the best, so that is an added pressure.
Definitely.
Okay, so this Gen Z is full of pressure because of that added the best.
True, ma'am, because it has become a very fast evolving world, and
Yeah.
for me, who is exactly a Gen Z kid, I was born in 2005. So what you're stating is exactly true. There's like too much competition, too much pressure. You have to be this, you have to be that. If you don't run now, someone's going to be running in your place. 10 more people are going to be running in your place, because back in those days, if there were 100 students appearing for an exam, a considerable amount will actually get whatever they want to get. And if you go now, there's like more and more. It was hundreds back then, now it's lakhs. So the pressure is more, the competition is more, the thrive to get to there is more, and you get pressured eventually.
Yeah.
And so it goes, it's not only educationally, I feel it goes into your financial position also. People are very keen about it these days. How financially stable are you? And that's how peer groups form, and that's how peer pressure starts.
Yeah.
I feel it's really concerning at this point.
Very concerning, very much concerning, because it is alarming actually.
True.
Like the suicide rates are getting high.
Very true.
And the suicide being done for, I didn't get the so-called brand, so I'm going for a suicide. So all these things are becoming very normal these days, and which is very alarming.
We've seen a lot of students who take their lives because they weren't able to score good in their exams. And I personally went for an event where this was the entire topic itself, how people resort to suicide because they weren't able to crack NEET or they weren't able to score good marks in their 12th board exams. And then there's another group of teenagers who resort to suicide because they weren't given what they asked for. Their family didn't offer them an iPhone or a phone or a car, or they didn't let them study wherever they wanted to go and study and stuff like that. So I think the parental relationship with the teenagers these days are also affected due to it.
Obviously,
with the Gen Zs.
Obviously.
Because the parents, the generational gap is there, and then we people, we evolve in a much more higher pace, whereas the parents are stuck back, in their era, and they would not want to evolve, and there's a huge generational gap, and this causes a lot of problems. They don't even sit and talk anymore. I've seen my friends' families where they don't talk anymore. They don't have conversations, normal conversations. And if they ask them, because I'm someone who communicates with my mom on a very greater extent, I feel like I'm an 80s kid only, because that's the amount of extent that I talk to my mom. And this is actually a normal. It's a normalcy, but it has become a standard now. What, to sit and talk to your mom? They feel awkward.
You do that.
You do this. You talk with your mom. And when I ask them, don't you? They're like, no. What am I going to talk to them? What am I going to talk about to them? Are they going to understand whatever I say? No. So why should I talk? So this generational gap has, as you said, it's very alarming, and it is something that is to be looked into. So what would you say for parents who have Gen Z kids, who are going to have Gen Beta kids, who have Gen Alpha kids? Because we have many variations now.
Yeah, now Alpha is over and Beta is beginning. Come. So first thing is like whenever a child asks for something, okay, I'm also from a family like you. I'm very close to my dad and mom so much. Like I would narrate the entire day to my
Exactly,
parents.
we run to them. Very true. I still do that. Me studying in college, I have to
Okay.
go in the afternoon and tell my mom whatever happened.
So this is not common for many of the people.
Exactly.
So that's because the space the parents have given.
Okay. So you would say it's on the parents.
Yeah, the parents need to give the space where the child feels very
Comfortable.
safe enough and comfortable enough and with lots of freedom also. I can share about anything to my dad. Only that kind of relation if I have, that can be soothing enough for the child to share the things with the father or the mother.
True.
Okay, so I had one. Lucky that you had one. So I expect, like I would say, like the parents of this era should be having that mindset, especially non-judgmental mindset. So non-judgmental mindset is very, very important from the parents' end to make the child come towards them, talk, vent, rant, anything.
True, ma'am, because when they don't have that space, they tend not to even tell anything which is affecting them also. They might be going through something serious, something, it can be anything. And when they know that they can't be very open with their parents, they tend to not tell them and they hide it from them.
It from themselves, and it gives them a pressure and they go for a suicide and all these things will be happening. So giving them the space, giving them that non-judgmental listening is very, very important.
So you would say it's on the parents, like the parents have to actually start evolving with the pace of the kids for them to actually, grow together.
Yes.
So we've discussed about so much, ma'am, and I have one final thing.
Yeah.
Generally, there's a stigma around psychological consultation or psychological help itself that it might be too expensive. And what are they going to mostly talk about? We are already aware of what they're going to talk about. We know the problems. We know the solution to the problems also. So we need not actually need psychological help. But how much would you stress the need for psychological assistance and mental help, ma'am?
As I said already, so there is a point like 2 weeks time. Okay. So within 2 weeks time, you can manage. After 2 weeks time, managing is actually dangerous, I would say. Okay, that is one thing. And coming to the taboo is not only related to the expensiveness, the taboo actually is related to going itself. Consulting a psychologist itself is a taboo. So what I would say is like, we need to come out of the taboo that I'm consulting a psychologist because I'm a mental, or I'm facing something wrong, I'm facing something not good. Okay, we have to come out of that. It is a common issue. Like everyone has issues. If you have a heart, and heart will have an issue. If you have a mind, and mind will have an issue. So it's very normal. So consulting a psychologist for mind reason is very much considerable. And if you have a heart, and heart has a artery problem, and will you hesitate to spend money for it?
Exactly.
No, right? And brain is the master piece of the whole body, and for mind, if you think that you should not spend money, or you hesitate to spend money, then think about how your functioning will be in the society and all that. So I would say that you have to think about it when you have a mind issue or mind problem. Yeah.
So honestly, this was such an enlightening session, ma'am. Apart from the viewers gaining knowledge out of it, I personally feel very enlightened, and there's actually a lot of knowledge that you shared today, and people don't give much emphasis to all of this, especially in a fast running world. So we got to know that it is essential to give much importance to your mental health and to take care of your mental health and to actually reach out for assistance and help, and there is no shame in doing so also. So if anyone watching this is facing any mental health issues, or if you know anyone who's going through something which was spoken in this video, please let them know that there is help out there and it is totally fine for you to reach out for help. And if you would like to have a personal one-on-one session, you have all the links in description about Lifedemy, and We have a very experienced Sujithra ma'am right here who would help you with whatever you're facing through. They're also available in 2 languages, both in English and Tamil, so you can speak in your comfortable language in the session. So in the Lifedemy app, it's a full-fledged online counseling session. You can book an online counseling session and you can take the session from anywhere at your comfortable place and your comfortable timing. So do check them out if needed.